Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA episode 351. I am Brendan. Bellator 301 in Chicago. This is going to be the prelims. Archie Colgan versus Pieter Buist. All right, and the rest of the prelims. We're going to try and power through these. There are a lot. Real quick before we get started, subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. That way you know when the next video is coming out. And if you do like this video, hit the like button. All right, let's get started. Too many fights to talk about here. Archie Colgan versus Pieter Buist was a fight. Not the most exciting fight. You know, Colgan, he timed a kick and got the takedown. That was the rest of the round, 10-9. Second round, Buist was tentative, not committing to his offense. Colgan with the lift and the takedown against the fence. Buist not able to do anything, 20-18. This fight was not fun to watch. Buist did nothing. He didn't want to fight, and Colgan controlled everything. He was tentative, and he walked backwards, and Colgan just was in his face the whole time, taking him down, 30-27. Easy to call here. All three judges' scorecards, 30-27. Okay, this fight was pretty good. Not this one, but the next fight. Denise Kielholtz versus Sumiko Inaba. Good fight. Trading clean combos as they enter. Hard to say who's getting the better of it early. Seems like Inaba's landing the better shots up top, and Kielholtz landing the harder low kicks. Inaba attempts a takedown, but ends up taking a bunch of shots in return. Denise did a better job, in my opinion. 10-9. Kielholtz going after that lead leg again, and Inaba using the jab. Inaba with the nice 1-2 and the takedown, but again, getting damage for her troubles, not able to do anything with her takedowns. Close round again, but I still give it to Kielholtz. Better control for Inaba in this third round. She didn't take that much damage either, so you could give her this last round, but I had it for Kielholtz 29-28. If you gave it 30-27 like the judges did, totally understandable. Great fight for Kielholtz. I don't got a lot of highlights for you guys. A lot of very tentative fights so far. It wasn't horrible to watch. It was just not the most exciting. Justin Gonzales versus Timur Khizriev. This fight was crazy. At least there was a crazy moment in it. It was mostly just Khizriev doing what he wanted. So landing some more shots. He's more disciplined with his striking. Khizriev lands a right hand and puts Gonzales on his back. Dominant round for Khizriev, landing what he wanted and ragdolling Gonzales in the grappling. 10-9, easy peasy. Huge front kick to the face from Khizriev and keeps skirting the so Gonzales keeps skirting the outside of the cage. Gonzales is just out of sorts, and Khizriev landing whatever he wanted. Just didn't seem like Gonzales knew what to do anymore. He looked lost in there. 20-18 for Khizriev. Gonzales catches a kick, and Khizriev backflips out of it. That was freaking awesome. Most exciting moment of the fight. Beautiful performance by Khizriev. If you watch this, there's a bunch of these moments. He just did an excellent job in this fight, controlling everything. Any moment that you could pick from here, he was in control. And here's where he catches the kick. And Khizriev just was like, no, I'll just backflip out of it. It's ridiculous. He said, start to back, not the most exciting fight, but had exciting moments, and that backflip was worth a watch. So go ahead and watch that fight. We are flying through. All right, Sabriye Shugui, versus Keri Taylor Melendez. Shugui was just, I don't know what her plan was coming in, but trying to get in a technical boxing match with Melendez was not a good idea. And then she went to grapple with her. I think she was just outmatched. You know, Melendez has this unassuming kind of passive, friendly look about her, but she's an absolute monster in all the positions. She's so good. Melendez has some really clean combos, and she's leaving her head out there, and Shugui throws really hard. So I thought eventually Shugui was gonna land on her. But Melendez doing the dirty work, staying active in the clinch with the knees to the body. Shugui is opening up with her strikes and throwing too big, getting countered hard every single time. 10-9 Melendez. Second round here, Shugui's face is mangled pretty bad from all those elbows in the clinch. Melendez firing off a counter. Shugui is holding onto the cage, but tried to keep Melendez against the cage. She was warned repeatedly, but no points. It was right in front of Melendez's corner, so Gilbert Melendez, her husband, is screaming like, take a point, get the position, get rid of her position. Like, that's bullshit. This was horrendous. She was warned 5 times maybe in a span of 15 seconds, 20 seconds, all for holding onto the cage and pulling herself in to try and keep Melendez from reversing position. Should have been an immediate point deduction, and for sure position loss. That was horrible, but it doesn't matter because she goes for a takedown and Melendez gets her in a guillotine, and Shugui can't hold she can hold defense all she wants and she still gets submitted. She still loses. So great fight from Melendez. Way to work through there and not get frustrated by the fouls. All right, Matheus Mattos versus Richard Palencia. Mattos landing the harder low kicks early, countering as oh wait hold on, we'll go back to that. I want to give Melendez her time in the spotlight here. Look at that really deep guillotine. She rotates it over. Tap tap taparoo. Give it the old tap tap taparoo. Tap dee tap tap. Okay, now we'll talk about Matheus Mattos versus Richard Palencia. Mattos landing the harder low kicks and countering as Palencia misses. Mattos doing a good job defending the takedown to end the round and doing little shots when he can. 10-9, easy peasy. Palencia just isn't moving into range, and Mattos is picking him apart. A hard right, but then all of a sudden, one of those counters lands from Palencia. Mattos overextended a little bit, and Palencia lands a hard right counter, drops Mattos for a second, and but here's the thing, Mattos gets right back up in on a takedown. Mattos gets to the back and gets a standing rear naked choke. So that chaos that was created actually benefited Mattos, which was kind of nuts. Like, that's not how you would expect that to go. Yeah, that hard right hand puts him down. He follows up with that. Yep. It's crazy they didn't get the finish here. But Mattos works his way back up, gets to the back, and gets a rear naked choke, and he gets a standing finish, which is impressive. The way he snugs that in and hides the hand so well. Beautiful finish for him. All right, this fight felt wrong to watch. I don't know what their plan was here. Randall Wallace versus Ramazan Kuramagomedov. This fight was set up for Ramazan to win. That's what it was. You bring in this veteran to face this new kid, and they're just giving him different looks. They're bringing him up the right way. I get an instant, guttural negative reaction when I see this happen in MMA. I'm just like, why are you feeding these guys to these? But then again, we're always critical of MMA fighters getting thrown to the wolves too early and not being developed. We just don't normally see it on the big stage, right? Because the UFC doesn't do this. They don't bring in young fighters and then try to develop them in the organization. They want them to be developed when they come in, and you're supposed to be ready to challenge for a title when you enter the UFC. That's your goal. Then you come in and you prove your worth. Whereas in Bellator, they'll develop you, bring you up slowly, and they don't really have, they don't use the LFA or anybody else or a feeder league. They can still do that, but they can develop from within their organization. So it's just weird to see. Wallace was not moving his head off the center line, taking all kinds of shots. Ramazan landed a right hook that buckles Wallace for a second. How can you dominate around this much and then coast during a takedown? He just coasted and would not go for a finish. 10-9. Second round, Ramazan landing a bunch of hooks and then goes for a takedown instead of finishing the fight. And finally, he gets a rear naked choke finish here in the second round. Mercifully, I didn't want to watch that anymore. It was bad to watch, not because Ramazan's not a good fighter. He absolutely is. It was hard to watch because I when you see a mismatch like that, you're like, ugh. Islam Mamedov versus Killy Mota. What the hell was this? Mamedov lands a right hand to the body and Mota landing a counter right up top. Mamedov didn't like that at all. Pressed against the fence, Mamedov trying to with the trips and the body locks with no dice. Mota is keeping the pressure on, making Islam fight off the back foot. Islam shoots a single leg and Mota defends it off. Let's see here. In all the clinching, Mota was landing Mamedov wasn't. In space, Mamedov landed a bit more, so he probably gets it, but just barely. So I gave Mamedov the first round here, 10-9. Second round, Mota landing a hard right hand to the chin. Islam is skirting away, trying to avoid pressure. Mamedov finally gets a takedown, is able to hold him down for 2 minutes. Mamedov wins the round via napping on top. This was not a good fight to watch. Again, Mamedov is, he could have exciting moments, sure, but when you end up with a fight like this where he just plays it safe, it's horrible to watch. 20-18. Last round, I just wrote down what a snooze fest. This was horrible. Mamedov ends up getting the split decision. This was gross to watch. It really was. At 4 hours of prelims with a bunch of shit like this mixed in is not worth your time. Do not go back and watch these. Cody Law versus Jefferson Pontes. This was a fun fight. Low kicks are landing for both guys, but Law is sticking to it a little bit more. He's just using it more often. Law just looks more polished out there, landing his fundamentals, using the jab, the 1-2, and then the low kicks. Pontes swinging huge shots, trying to get a big knockout. Pontes didn't land anything really in this first round. 10-9 to Cody Law. Second round, Pontes starting the round, running after him, swinging hooks with both hands, not able to land. Law landing the low kicks, sticking to the 1-2s, and Law gets a takedown and controls it for most of the round. Again, Pontes just really didn't land anything. I think he was almost shut out in this round, 20-18. Last round, Pontes now tender on that lead leg, still trying to throw big hooks, but I noticed it before the commentary team mentioned it, and then Law lands another low kick. Pontes drops and doesn't want to stand back up, and then he just started to rip his leg apart. Law destroyed the leg and got the win. Easy win for him, 30-27 in my opinion. I think all three judges had 30-27. Pow! Yep, and that was it. That was the beginning of the end for the leg kicks. Alrighty. Mike Hamel versus Tim Wilde. Hamel works to the back body lock and gets a trip, and they get right back up. Both guys swinging hard while under control, but neither guy's really outlanding one another. Hamel kicks to the nuts. Hamel with the lift and the slam. Hamel wins the round with more control and landing offense, in my opinion, 10-9. Hamel landing a nice left hook and keeping the pressure on, Wilde using the jab and circling. Hamel ended the round with a slam, but he just didn't do any damage in this round, so I had it 19-19. Last round here, Hamel just not putting enough out there, and then Wilde lands a high kick, and Hamel's wobbled. Wilde lands a right hand, and it is over. All over. This is the finish here. Yep, that high kick, and then a big right hand and puts him out. Yeah, that pressure was nonstop. Yeah, Tim Wilde just outlasted him. Good fight for Wilde. Yves Landu versus Isao Kobayashi. Not Kobayashi. Kobayashi. Kobayashi going for those low kicks early. Nothing happened in this round except for the exchange of control. Landu had more control, so I gave him this first round 10-9. Second round, Landu lands a low kick, a left hand that drops Kobayashi a bit, and then Kobayashi on a takedown. Kobayashi keeps him on his back the whole round. Right? This round, you could give it to Landu for the one punch, but I gave it to Kobayashi, 19-19. Last round here. Landu landing the right hand and Kobayashi landing the left hand, dropping Landu for a second. Kobayashi gets a takedown but spends the rest of the round fighting off the Kimura. So I had it 29-28 for Landu. One of the judges had it 30-27. Let's see here. Mason had it 29-28 for Kobayashi. I don't agree with that. And then Saul D'Amato and Brian Minner both had it 30-27. For Landu. I could see that in that first round, it was relatively close. Sorry. In that second round, it was pretty it was close because of the damage only. So I could see you giving all 3 rounds to Landu. I don't think you can give 2 rounds to Kobayashi though. Maybe if you gave him that first round, that's rough. That's a hard sell. I don't know. A lot of these guys, man, a lot of these judges, they're throwing some weird shit out there, and it goes, unnoticed because it's in Bellator or it's freaking like on the undercards, and people don't recognize the stuff because the right guy ends up getting the decision, so their card is hand waved away. I don't like this. I don't like when we have bad decisions or unexplainable cards that just don't get discussed because it's the first fight on a Bellator prelim, so no one gives a shit. I mean, they do. I bet you he does. I bet you Yves Landu cares about it, right? What happens if 2 judges screwed up that fight, and then all of a sudden now he's got a loss on his record because of that shit? And no one would talk about it then. And even if they did, they would only mention it for a couple minutes. But the point is, like, that kind of stuff is scary when you see that happen, because what happens if you have two of those guys on there? I mean, we've seen it. We know what happens. Anyway, I did not like watching this. This was not fun. I did not have fun watching these fights. There were some fun moments, but it felt like a real slog to get through. It was not exciting to watch these. I don't recommend it. I think this is a skipper. I think hopefully the UFC tonight is a little bit more exciting. I'd be much relieved if there was some exciting fights tonight in the UFC. Some more excitement is something that I want. All right. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I love y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. That way the next video is coming out. And if you did like this video, hit the like button. Peace.